Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is not Saturday. It's actually Sunday, June 1st. I'm a little late, but you know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast, and it is a sad day. It's the nature of the beast. We'll get into it in the recap. Check that out tomorrow. Check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course at 215 on Twitter. I am your host, Jeremy Pearson. Today's show is the WWE's failure with King of the Ring. For some reason, they just can't be consistent with this and are just failing themselves in easy booking and easy money and easy storylines. But for now, you know what's next. So just go on and hit my music. This list is so simple. These are the best modern kings and queens of the ring. Number 5, 2019, Baron Corbin. This man, whatever you gave him, he just rolled with it. He made it work, whether it was Constable Corbin, whether it was bum-ass Baron Corbin, whether it was the Lone Wolf, he always made it work. And King Corbin was something that he just made work. You go into the gimmick, you go all in, you commit to the bit, and that is exactly what he did. 2024, Gunther, even though he didn't become King Gunther or anything like that, it was another mark on his resume that elevated and propped up his career, and it was very fitting for him to win. Not only that, he defeated Randy Orton in the finals to earn himself that World Heavyweight Championship match. It was a thing of beauty, and he used that momentum to become the world champion. Number 3, Nia Jax, also 2024. She won alongside Gunther, defeating Lyra Valkyria in the finals, becoming Queen Nia, adding Tiffany Stratton to her side, and ultimately winning the Women's Championship. Nia Jax has been on a roll since returning to the WWE a little over 2 years ago. And this has just been another high mark on her resume where you can't deny that she is just here to stay, and she's just that good. Number 2, 2021, of course, Xavier Woods. King Woods bow down. He got new music. He got Kofi to pretty much be the second man to him. This was Xavier Woods' time to shine, because of note, it was made that, he had never won a singles championship or had a big singles accomplishment, but winning King of the Ring was something that ultimately worked with him, and the New Day were going to do nothing but be awesome with it. And of course, number 1, 2006, the SmackDown exclusive King of the Ring, Booker T. Yeah, there's nobody going to top Booker T. He had never won a world championship in WWE up until he became King Booker, which kind of sucks and is really disrespectful to the career of Booker T. But once he became King Booker, once he had the King's Court, he became world champion. He committed, and when I say he committed. King Booker with Queen Carmelo was comedy gold, but he was also able to back it up in the ring. These are the best King of the Ring, Queens of the Ring winners recently. Looking for 5 more. We'll be right back. We talked about it before, but one more time, Carmelo Hayes is in the spotlight right here, right now, and I don't know what we're doing. Now, I could always point back to who's booking, and we know their history with stars of melanin, but the contrast in Carmelo Hayes' NXT career and his current main roster career are night and day. I don't know how you could book this man, have such a fall off. Yes, he is now in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but let's be real, he's probably not winning, and I will fly to the moon, go play in traffic if he wins Money in the Bank. But Carmelo Hayes is too good and too talented to just be here on the main roster, while His two other counterparts, one injured, and Ilya Dragunov, but before he got hurt, he was pushed to the moon. And now we see where Braun Breaker is, where he was, and where he's going to be, because they clearly see something of Braun Breaker, but they don't see anything in Carmelo Hayes. This is just an abhorrent treatment of bad treatment of a top talent, and I don't really know what's next and where we can go with Carmelo Hayes without a super big refresh. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this time last year, and I want to say 2015 and 2002 and 2001, we've had the King of the Ring. And the King of the Ring has normally gone down around this time, late May, early June, and we're not getting it this year. That's just dumb. So today's show, we are going to look at the WWE and its failure for the King and Queen of the Ring. Well, let me give you just a brief history of this legendary tournament. Started all the way back in 1985 when it was under the WWF, held annually until 1991, with the exception of 1990. And these tournaments all started out as non-televised house shows, but then starting in 93, it became an annual June pay-per-view, and it was something to look forward to. At one point, it was considered one of the big five pay-per-views, with the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, and that would be great. They got rid of the event in 2002, and it was gone. It was going and ended up being replaced by Bad Blood. So after a 4-year hiatus, it came back in 2006, was held SmackDown exclusive, where Booker T won, and then it was gone again. It would just be come back periodically where WWE didn't know what to do. In addition to that, we had the Queen's Crown tournament, which came about in 2001, which was then 2 years later renamed into the Queen of the Ring. So we had the King and Queen of the Ring. In the most recent history, the winners would get world championship matches at, I want to say, SummerSlam. And that was beautiful. You have to make things have meaning. It has to mean, I'm fighting for something that is achievable, something that will elevate my career. And now, once again, the WWE does not have the King and Queen of the Ring. And why are tournaments good for wrestling? Everybody loves a tournament. Tournaments are how we end things off with sports leading up to the championship. Tournaments are just an integral part of professional wrestling. We have King of the Ring, and for the longest time, we had people that whose careers, not all the time, but there were many whose careers were elevated from winning King of the Ring. Everybody from Harley Race to Tito Santana to obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Kurt Angle, Edge, Brock, Booker T, so on and so forth. And it can always be a way to elevate one's career. New Japan gives us the G1 Climax. We know at the end of the year, leading into Wrestle Kingdom, we have the G1 Climax. And now the G1 Climax isn't a single elimination tournament. It is a round robin tournament, but it's always led to some of the best matches, some of the best talent fighting for something, which is an IWGP Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom. AEW more recently has brought in two tournaments that they have been doing pretty consistently. I can't think of a year since the start that they haven't done it. We have the Continental Classic, which will be going into its third year coming this fall. And originally you were fighting for the Continental Championship, but we all believe that championship will be abolished. So it will probably lead into a new title shots. And we are definitely praying, hoping that the women get their own Continental Classic. And of course, we have the Owen Hart Cup, the Owen Hart tournament. This is the third year. Third year. This is the third or fourth year, and this is the first year where the winners get. So this is the second year where winners get championship matches. Though that means something, and it's something that we look forward to right there. Early spring, leading right into All In. You know, you got the Owen Hart tournament at the end of the year. In the fall, you know, you have the C2. So why is the WWE so inconsistent with the King of the Ring? Well, it always comes back to Vince McMahon, whose mind is always changing, and things can change and drop on a dime because of his inconsistencies, and everything was done for his enjoyment, for his pleasure, not for the betterment of the business, not for the betterment of the talent. It's all about him. He has always been inconsistent, and we've recently learned over these years that he doesn't like tournaments. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. You can't really get into Vince McMahon's brain, but he doesn't like tournaments. Tournaments are great. Tournaments are a thing of beauty, and it makes booking easier. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. And more importantly, while they're consistent, they can't follow up with the winners. When you win a major tournament, it's supposed to elevate your career, and there needs to be a follow-up. So like for every King Booker and Xavier Woods and Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have Mabel, you have Tito Santana, you have Bad News Barrett, you have Ken Shamrock, where winning the King of the Ring really didn't do much for their career. So the early days of long-term booking was really never there. So going from Vince's mind always changing to he doesn't like tournaments to not being able to follow with the winner, I can understand why they would not do King of the Ring. But now that Triple H is in charge, maybe things will change. Well, clearly I'm wrong, because there's no King of the Ring this year. WWE has loaded the year up with a plethora of PLEs, and the King of the Ring isn't one of them, and that sucks. That's sad. So why does it need to come back? Why does the King and Queen of the Ring need to come back? Tournaments are easy to book. It's that simple. And as they're easy to book, you already have a set number of matches. The field can be large, the field can be small, and you run it through Raw, you run it through SmackDown, and that's just good booking for weekly shows. Week in and week out, you know, you look forward to the King and the Queen of the Ring matches. Not only that, it's easy booking for a world title. If you do not know who your number one contender can be, you know that for 2 months you're booking towards your next challenger, and you can book out of that whether they win or whether they lose. It almost writes itself. You legitimately can't be lazy with it. It's so simple. So you have this tournament that's easy to book, right? You have, you know, weekly shows. The funny thing is, here's the funny thing. Ever since Triple H took over, he's booked a plethora of mini tournaments on Raw and SmackDown. There's been a constant number of multiple brackets, triple threat matches leading into a number one contender to find a new challenger. He's done that week in and week out. Like, I don't understand why you just won't book a King of the Ring show. It's easy booking for a world championship. It's easy booking for a television show. And more importantly, you make a star out of this. You can crown a new champion out of this. Yes, you have people that have won King of the Ring and it really hasn't done nothing for them. But again, that comes back to the booking. You're only as good as you are booked. But Xavier Woods got a boost. Sheamus got a boost. William Regal got a boost. Stone Cold got a boost. Booker T got a boost. Zelina Vega got a boost. Nia Jax got a boost. Like, it just makes sense. Hell, we thought for a long time, Money to Bank winners would be someone new. We can crown a new world champion, and that's been pretty true for the most part. But here is another way you can have someone, an underdog, run the field, earn that championship match, and earn, the respect, the adoration, and earn that new top star status. Because you just have to have faith in them. And this is the one that I am always thinking about. It's better for the women. It's so easy to book for the men because we just assume that things are going to happen, but you give divas a chance. Remember that, treating them equal to the men. And I say this with both WWE and AEW because we have a women's Owen Hart Cup. We need a women's C2. We need a women's C2. And the Queen of the Ring, it's great. Now, I hated that the last Queen of the Ring ended in Saudi Arabia. I don't think anything should be going down in Saudi Arabia, but it's another way to get a championship opportunity for the woman, because we've seen a lot of times that they can be lazy with their booking for the women. But hey, this open field of top contenders, of underdogs, of people who want to win the championship, that's beautiful. Imagine a field where you can stack it, like from Raw you have Bayley, Becky, Stephanie, Roxanne, Lyra, and then throw in like Maxine Dupree and Ivy now, who can try to run the table on the SmackDown side, Jordan and Joya and B-Fab and Meechin, and you can finally show what Alba Fire and Piper Niven are truly all about. Like, it would give the women so much time to shine and be such a beautiful thing. And the thing that I always come back to is, we always recently in these years have seen that after WrestleMania, the WWE gets kind of lazy with their booking, and it's like, we're going to take April and May and even June off before we start building up to Survivor Series. Now that's kind of changed with Money in the Bank being in the middle, but imagine having the Money to Bank right there in the middle while the King of the Ring is going on. Now your summer is booked. Now your summer is loaded. It's like, okay, I feel this. I'm digging this. I like what's going on here. It's so solid. It just works. So I'm gonna leave you with this. I think it's a total failure on the WWE's part to not have a yearly King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament. We know the things that come around every year: Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank. Those are the two things that are easy to book for and take up a majority of your time. If you have something right there in the middle that takes up 2 months, you give yourself a layoff. And once again, the WWE has decided not to run King or Queen of the Ring. I don't know why. Maybe they're just caught up in themselves of counter booking AEW. Maybe they just feel like they can keep it in their back pocket. But does that make it special when you bring it back and then you get rid of it, and then you bring it back and you get rid of it? It's not conducive to a solid working environment, because now you've taken away something that the stars can look forward to. Just be better with it. Just bring it back and keep it consistent. Like, it's not hard. But that's our show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen. We got coming up. The June schedule is up soon. Should be up by the time this airs. Check out the socials: Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic _Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Bailey, Priscilla Kelly, Isla Dawn, Anna J, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander. Holla at your boy. Peace.